Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with monthly recap for May, the May monthly recap. So let's just jump right into it. May, I think, was probably one of our worst months ever, at least for me with running the business. I feel like if nothing else, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm stretched too thin. I'm trying to do too many things, and it's been just generally difficult, stressful, and it's been hard to find anything remotely resembling work-life balance. And you know, it's kind of par for the course to some extent, but it's starting to wear on me in a way that's been extremely frustrating. It's just been one of the hardest months ever. A lot of things happening. So with that, I guess where it comes down to is I've got all this stuff that's vying for my time for the business, and I'm not getting the financial reward for it. We're not taking money out of the business right now. I'm trying to get everything in the best place we can, and it's a ton of stress. But I want to be able to enjoy time with my family. I want to be able to build again. I haven't really built anything that hasn't been on stream in a while and stuff like that. And so it's been tough. And really, part of the reason it's tough is that our plans since the beginning all hinged on the idea of rapid growth. Our idea was to grow to a decent scale, get to the point where I could make hopefully a decent living from this. Maybe not exactly what I would make back in my consulting or engineering days, but enough that I'd feel happy and good about it, and have enough scale where I had enough help to do it, where it made sense, where I didn't have to do everything myself, where I didn't have to get super involved in every aspect of the business. And it hasn't been happening. And a large part of that is just the plan for growth, the rate of growth that we were hoping for just doesn't seem possible in the current economic climate. It's just more difficult, and more importantly, it's not going to happen. Like, we can grow, but we can't grow as fast as we need to, or maybe not even ever get to the scale where it makes sense and feels that way. And so that's kind of put us in this difficult position where we're trying to figure out what the future really looks like. What does the future hold for Mecha Warehouse and for myself and my family and all that kind of stuff? And one of the things that we've kind of settled on is we need to get to a place where the business makes sense long term, that doesn't rely on that growth. We're in the process of making a lot of very difficult changes to try and get to a place where our overhead's lower, hopefully the amount of time and energy that goes into it is lower, and the rewards are hopefully proportionally larger, and therefore make sense again. The hardest part of that is that we have reduced our staff in May. Unfortunately, we had to let both Kayla and Patrick go. I'm sorry to see them both go. They're both great members of the team, especially Patrick. He's been around for around 3 years now and has been a vital part of the team for such a long time that it's not going to feel the same without him. But we're kind of stuck in this place of we either continue hoping for the growth that justified the extra staff, or we kind of recognize where things really are at and adjust accordingly to get into a long-term sustainable place. We're likely also going to be trying to reduce our footprint at some point in the coming months to a year. The size of the warehouse we're in right now made a ton of sense when we thought we were going to continue growing at this super rapid rate. And now that we aren't on a path of massive annual growth anymore, I don't think we're going to fill out the space very quickly. And so we want to be in a place where we can reduce that overhead and get to a place where everything kind of makes sense. There's also other things in terms of how our time and energy and money is spent that we're going to be evaluating and tweaking to over the coming weeks and months as well. Just there's certain products that maybe don't make sense to carry because the amount of work to create the product listing and check them in and pack and ship and all that kind of stuff just don't make sense for the amount that we sell, for example. And so we're going to be constantly evaluating that stuff and trying to get to a place where I'm not spending every waking hour that I'm not working the daytime gig, or that I'm with my family in the business. I want to be able to have the occasional, day off, moment off, something like that. It's tough, and it's not really where I thought we would be at this point in time, but it's, I think, the reality in front of us. We just need to get to a place where everything hopefully makes sense again. we're going to continue doing the best we can. Customer service is still a top priority. I'll be handling all of that stuff myself going forward. I think I've got a process in place that'll allow me to do that as well as we've been doing it. That said, I would not be surprised if you message in the middle of the day that I might not get back to you within a few minutes, like you might theoretically expect in the past. But orders will get modified, things will get taken care of, and that will continue to be a top priority for us. We're also going to probably be putting out less content. I'm trying to figure out how to continue to put out stuff, doing it primarily myself, maybe outsourcing small pieces when it makes sense. But I really need to get to a place of kind of stability with all these changes before I'm going to put a ton of effort into anything like that. Because right now it's really like firefighting day to day. How do I get to the point where I'm not killing myself to keep this stuff going? But ultimately, we're gonna continue trying to focus on the community and trying to do all the things that we do and do it as best as we can, and can continue being the Mecha Warehouse that hopefully everybody has come to appreciate, and all that good stuff. Another big thing that's coming with those changes, though, is I've decided to cancel AnyMech for this year, AnyMech 2024. We took us a while to get to the point where we were ready to announce that we were going to do it. And unfortunately, just the way things have been feeling the last couple months, I'm not sure I can put the time and energy in that the event and the community really deserves. So I'm going to pull back where I need to pull back in order to keep myself sane, I guess. We'll hopefully revisit again in the future, maybe 2025 or later in the year. Who knows? We'll be able to put on some sort of event like that. But in the meantime, I'm trying to get rid of commitments that I'm not sure I can keep and can't do the best job I can on them, if that makes sense. So that's basically the majority of it. Perfect timing being what it is. Alex also put in his notice recently, and he'll be serving out, I think, another week, probably the rest of the week that you're seeing this, if you're watching this when it airs. So that is what it is. We should be able to make up for that with our per diem and part-time help. We'll see more of Chad back in the warehouse probably in the near future. And we got some per diem help that should be filling in some of the gaps over the course of the summer as we try to figure out what all this stuff kind of entails and where we're going and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically the recap in a nutshell. I don't have a ton of fancy B-roll footage for you. I don't have any Q&A questions to answer this week. So I'm kind of going to just leave it there with that. But all that said, 100% appreciate our community, all of our customers, everybody that's done business with us over the last 5 years. And big part of every decision we're making is how do we continue serving you guys? How do we continue doing what we're doing and do it as well as we can in a way that's sustainable? And so hopefully we'll be able to continue to do that for a long time, but we'll ultimately see what makes sense. And yeah, so if you've got questions, I'm sure there'll be questions about this. Post them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them in the next recap. Hopefully we'll have some positive news about some of the changes and things that are going forward from there. And otherwise, thank you for watching. See you next time.